Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. Well, gosh, isn't it a fabulous Friday with this weather?
Love that, yes.
I'm loving this weather. I don't know about you folks, but it is finally feeling like spring, or shall we say summer?
Yeah.
It kind of feels more like summer. I know technically, right, Nicole, we're in spring mode, but it feels like summer.
Hey, I'm not technically a meteorologist. It's me in the door.
You're right, technically.
Thomas might have a different answer, but it feels like summer to me. Listen, I've been asking for summer for literal months, so I am loving this. Right now, it is nice and sunny out over Riverfront Park, and that sunshine is going to help warm us up really nicely. For now, though, we are still in the 40s. We're a little bit cooler this morning than we were yesterday morning, so just keep that in mind if you're heading out the door. Similar across the region, mid-40s, high 30s in some spots, but either way, all of us, we are warming up today. We've got high temperatures in the mid-70s for some of us and in the 80s for others.
Happening today, Washington Governor Jay Inslee will be in Spokane. Inslee's visit will be focused on homelessness and resources in our region to help combat it. His first stop of the day will be at Chaz Behavioral Health Center, followed by a visit to Crosswalk Spokane, one of 2 licensed emergency shelters in eastern Washington. We'll be covering his visit right here on KREM 2 News.
A new report shows the homeless camp off of I-90 continues to shrink. Numbers from WSDOT show that there are only about 35 people currently living there. They also counted 25 tents and RVs that are still at the camp. Now, this is a significant decrease from the 600 people who were there during last fall. Now, despite fewer residents at the camp, Spokane's homeless population continues to grow. This year's point-in-time count was presented to the City Council just yesterday.
Yeah, the survey really gives us a snapshot of Spokane County's homeless population. KREM 2's Cody Proctor breaks down the numbers.
Well, this year's point-in-time count took place between January 24th through the 29th and counts both the sheltered and unsheltered homeless population throughout Spokane County, including Cheney, Liberty Lake, and within Spokane city limits. January was a busy time for the volunteers in this year's point-in-time homeless count.
It's a pulse check on what's happening in their community. For providers, they can look at specific subpopulations of those they serve to see if there's an increase or a decrease.
Now, 3 months later, the results are out. The highlights were presented to the Spokane City Council during their study session Thursday morning. According to Data System Administrator Daniel Ramos, Spokane County saw a 36% increase in just a year in the overall homeless population, growing from over 1,700 in 2022 to almost 2,400 in 2023. The sheltered count also grew from about 930 to just over 1,400.
That's a 53% increase. This is where we saw the largest increases, and this tracks pretty closely with the increase in beds.
But not every number went up.
One thing that was a bright spot this year was our chronic homeless number was down, and those are individuals who have been homeless for a year or more and have some form of disability. So it was great to see that number go down.
According to the count, the top 3 reasons for homelessness they heard from those who were unsheltered were lack of affordable housing, lack of family or support network, and substance use. One thing that was new in this survey was if eviction was a primary reason for homelessness, which 7% said it was. Ramos also said there's still more to be done with the point-in-time numbers, including working with universities to try to figure out the reasons behind the increase. He says they plan to release their story map update this summer.
And there was also another increase in the point-in-time count this year, which had actually nothing to do with the county's homeless population. 170 volunteers helped with this year's survey compared to 100 last year. In the studio, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
Now, the Washington Department of Commerce announced it will provide more than $83 million in funding to address our state's homelessness issue. Part of that will fund almost 500 new multifamily housing units. The department is also reserving another 100 units for those experiencing homelessness. Other funding will go to additional affordable housing units right here in eastern Washington.
New in the last 24 hours, one of the surviving roommates of the Moscow murder victims reached an agreement with the defense on appearing in court in June. Previously, her attorney filed a motion to fight a subpoena for her to appear at Brian Kohberger's preliminary hearing. Both parties agreed that the roommate will be interviewed by the defense in Reno, Nevada, where she currently lives. According to the affidavit, the 2 surviving roommates were in the home when the suspect allegedly killed the 4 other students.
Taking another look at weather, on top of it being nice and warm, we're also very clear with a lot of sunshine today and heading into the next few days. Taking a look at our future tracker, you can see a little bit of cloud cover comes up but disappears really quickly, leaving us mostly sunny for the next few days. And that sunshine is helping us warm up to summer-like temperatures. We've got 80 degrees here as a high here in Spokane, with other areas reaching well into the 80s, and then Sunday right there as well at 79 degrees. So just be ready for a nice warm weekend.